Hi, my name is Josie. This is my spooky showsy.
Hey everyone, it's Josie and welcome to my first ever Spooky Saturday. Today's subject is Crimson Peak. Da-da! I'm talking about Crimson Peak because it has become a recent fixation of mine in which I've probably annoyed a lot of people in my life about it.
Beware, Crimson Peak.
Josie!
Beware, Crimson Peak.
You can't keep doing that!
Beware, Crimson Peak.
No.
Beware, Crimson Peak. Hey, come back. Hey.
No!
So here's the thing about fixations/obsessions. When you're autistic, these things can pretty much rule your life. A lot of people know the autism stereotype like Rain Man, where he knew a lot about numbers, or that autistic people are like child prodigies, or all sorts of things. And the fixations can go from liking nuts and bolts to a lot of autistic individuals have fandom fixations. And Crimson Peak has become one of mine, which stems from an obsession/fixation with the actress Jessica Chastain, who I think is pretty much one of the coolest people on the planet, / most talented people on the planet, / just a ginger goddess of awesome, pretty much. Anyway, back on the whole fixation thing. I prefer to call them fixations because obsessions to me generally means a stronger degree, like something that is harmful in your life, like obsessions. For autistic people could be anything that causes disruptions in their relationships with people, in their socialization, and so on and so forth. When things get to be too bad, fixation-wise, they can become obsessions. So, like I said, I tend to prefer to call them fixations because obsession seems to be so aggressive, and I'm not a fan of that.
Aside from fixations, I have many collections including
Movie memorabilia, stuffed animals, films. An example of a harmful obsession could be picking at your skin, which is something that I do, but I have it in control right now. But it can lead to obviously bleeding, infections, and so on and so forth. It's harmful. It can cause problems for me. It's an obsession that isn't good. Whereas a fixation on Crimson Peak isn't going to hurt anybody. I mean, maybe annoy them with how many times I talk about it or want to go see it or so on and so forth. Anyway, let's get into the film itself. So here's the thing about Crimson Peak. The first time I saw it, I thought it was alright. The second time I saw it, I liked it even more. And the third time I saw it, I liked it even more than the first two times. I also think going to the maze, which was so brilliantly done at Universal Studios Hollywood this year, that like it blew me away. I fell even more in love with the characters. But the real reason I became so obsessed with Crimson Peak is Lucille Sharp. That girl is so on point. Like, she could take a stab at anything, and she'd really, really get her point across. She's amazing. Actually, she's kind of psychotic, but Jessica Chastain does such a fantastic job in this role. It was a disappointment in the film, actually, to not get more about Lucille. I wanted more backstory about Thomas and Lucille. That was the biggest point of the movie that disappointed me the most. I needed more about them, their crazy life, their crazy mom, and everything that happened to them in Allerdale Hall. The film itself gives me this whole kind of Fall of the House of Usher feel, and if you've never seen this movie or read the story, read it, see the film, and you'll definitely get the vibes I'm talking about. It is a creepy, fantastic, campy, just watch it. But the whole vibe of Crimson Peak, to me, was very much a Vincent Price kind of classic horror thing. Less campy, but it still has that campy aspect to it. But the sets, the costumes, the makeup, everything was fantastic. And like I said, Jessica Chastain's performance was killer. Absolutely killer. The main storyline is about Edith Cushing, who is played by Mia Wasikosaka, who is lovely, but I don't know, I didn't want as much of her story. I mean, it's her story to tell as she's a writer, but at the same time, I wanted more about everyone else involved as well. It left me wanting more. And as great as Mia is, and even as great as Tom is, I wanted more of Tom with Jessica as Thomas and Lucille. So there are lacking parts in this film, but I definitely recommend that everyone sees it because it's a great film to just watch, have fun, freak out your friends a couple times because there are a few little jump scares. As for serious spooks, it's not going to get you too bad. Honestly, if you want something that's going to scare your pants off, I still say see The Conjuring. If you've never seen The Conjuring, whew, just see it. That's all I can say. If you're going for spooks, I wouldn't see Crimson Peak if you're looking to get the pants scared off of you. But if you're looking for like a campy, classic kind of horror feel, I would see Crimson Peak. If anything, just for the way the ghosts are, and I'm going to say it again, Jessica Chastain as Lucille Sharp. Jessica Chastain doing anything. I'm pretty sure Jessica Chastain could read the phone book and make it interesting some way, somehow, and then she would cry reading the phone book, and I would also cry. Just Jessica Chastain, guys. So when it comes to reviewing Crimson Peak, I give it 4 out of 5 stabs because it's a pretty good movie, and though it has some points in the storytelling where I wish there was a little bit more, I really enjoyed it. I mean, enough to see it 3 times, obviously, and I went in the maze 7 times, so I really do dig these characters, and I recommend you all see it at least once. That's it, guys, for my very first Spooky Saturday. Don't forget to stay spooky and keep it creepy.
Beware Crimson Peak.
Like it and subscribe. You should like it and subscribe. You should like it and subscribe. You should like it and subscribe. What? Did anyone else feel like Ava Green should have played a ghost in this movie? Anyone? Seriously, I just feel like this is it belongs in her freaking portfolio.